1,800 days in hardcore Minecraft is a huge number, and I want to go 100 more in this video and see how much I can accomplish. Look, I am very happy with what we've accomplished in New Hope and our dock city of Sangil, not to mention the Arcane Reception Coil, but yeah, it's time to finish things because on day 2000, I plan on starting an entire new chapter in this world. I'm happy to report that peace is reigning in New Hope. After hiding underground in an ancient city for several hundred days, we are back up topside and living in our old homes again. Yeah, we had a bit of a cleanup duty from all the zombie corpses all over town, but now everything is returning back to normal. Through the Arcane Reception Coil, we are now connected to Tracy 24/7. It's a great thing. My old ship's computer can now help to, well, teach the people of this medieval society some modern tricks and technology that we're going to need in order to combat a rogue AI sent to destroy us that's coming here roughly 2 decades in our future. In the more immediate future, though, Mr. Grady is still gone. I sent him out from the ancient city to search for the source of these zombies, and he has not returned. I'm starting to get concerned. Oh yes, back to the Ark this 100 days. Look, I want to split myself, so I want to do about 50 days on the Ark and get it to a state where I'm calling it finished, and then 50 days on an entirely different project that I'll get to eventually. Now, if you remember last episode, I actually stopped 10 days early to allow for some extra grind time for this episode because I knew it would be a doozy. And yeah, I spent 3 days harvesting deep slate to get like 3 chests worth. That's not that much. I'll be honest, I don't really know exactly how to expand this tower. I really like the way it looks, but there are a few things I don't really love. Like, I don't really love sort of the difference between this outer wall and the upper part. So I think I might start by trying to sort of connect it together. First thing I did is I came around to these orbs. I did these 4 orbs because these are going to eventually be maybe like control stations or something. Maybe once the people of New Hope get computer technology, maybe this will be their little computer labs or something. And I'm going out in all 8 directions. I know there's 4 directions, but each of them has 2, so it's like 8 extensions. You'll see when I get it done. My goodness, it is difficult to go into a mega build like this without that much of a plan. I don't know if I'll do this again. I like winging it. I think that's a fun part of Minecraft. It's just starting to build, putting down blocks, and seeing sort of where it takes you. But in something this big, you end up making mistakes and have to sort of undo what you did. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now. As I start to thicken these towers, I do want to mention that I have now completed all 3 full movies for the 3 major characters in their solo outings that lead up to the point that we are at right now in the combined Fixxiverse. First, we have 100 Days, the Mage full movie, which is Edwin's story. That came out a couple months ago, I think now. Then I recently did 100 Days and I Caused the Apocalypse. That is the Captain James Doan story, which includes my 1 Year in Minecraft series. And the full movie for Fred just came out recently here a couple days ago, which is 100 Days in a Bunker full movie. If you want to get caught up and you want to see what's going on and how those characters play into Dr. Steve Tepek's story here in the hardcore world, well, that's what you should watch. I had some sort of issue with my Guardian farm where the hoppers were locked or something with the timer that made them come from the nether. Anyway, whatever. I just went over and I just took all the items out of the hopper in the nether, on the roof of the nether, and put them back in. And all of a sudden, yeah, I'm drowning in Guardians again. So all is good with this, luckily, because the Arcane Reception Coil needs a ton of sea lanterns. After a ton of grind, I came up with almost a full shulker of sea lanterns, and that is really good. It's time to get back to building because guess what? It is officially day 1800 now. My 10-day buffer that I left from last episode, it's gone. I just love how these sea lanterns look with complementary shaders. By the way, I get that question basically every video. I use complementary shaders almost exclusively in this series and most other series too. I don't know if I'm going to continue using shaders in the future. You have to let me know what your thoughts on shaders are. I love it so much, but some people don't love it as much. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Do you like shaders or would you rather, not so much? Now, the thought is these small towers are going to help expand upwards and make sort of battery cells because I want to make more power generation. Look, the lore is pointing towards that the Ark needs more power, so I'm going to need a place to contain all of the power that I'm making. You know, I know that you can get calcite in those exposed stony peaks or something, but I really wish there were a place that you can get it renewably because I hate to rip apart a stony peaks just to get calcite, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, should we add a data pack to make a crafting recipe or something? Whatever. I could even exchange diorite for it or making it a stone cutter for diorite. You have to let me know. I don't know. I hate ruining landscape just to get a block, you know? And you know how it goes with power in my world, that basically equals copper. I mean, it's the electricity conducting thing. That's what makes all of the power move around in our sort of lore. So yeah, time to make up a bunch more copper. Luckily, I have a good bit from how much I've dug. I hopefully won't need to go dig more. If you've been following the channel for some time, you know how much I love science stuff, and I have been totally into all this stuff about the James Webb Telescope and all that stuff. So I've been kind of thinking about the solar panels kind of like a space station, and I thought these look really cool, and they do. I think. I love it. I started getting very nervous though. I headed over to New Hope because I was out of copper, and yeah, I'm pretty good. Look how much copper I have just sitting around in New Hope because I've never really used it. After picking up all the rest of the copper that I have, because I don't really know how much I need, I am going back to the Ark because it is now, if you're keeping track, day 1810. I only have 40 days left to finish the Ark before I move on to another project that is very important for the future of the Fixxiverse. The only thing I don't really like about what we've done so far is these supports just seem really small. Like, I don't think they would hold much weight, so I need to expand them more, and I'm just using a combination of regular stone mixture and then this deep slate that I'm kind of looking at as like a harder stone. It makes sense. Deep slate takes a long time to mine, and that's sort of the support. That's kind of like the iron bars that hold up the building, if you will. After all that work, though, I don't really know where to go next, but you know what? I'm walking on it. I'm walking on a real problem area that I've got to deal with at some point here soon. This area right here, it looks terrible, and I've never really known what to do with it, so I think we gotta get busy. So first thing I decided to do is add some sort of exhaust ports going up from 2 of the 4 sides, not the other ones. I don't want to do everything symmetrical here. So those exhaust ports, they just sort of break up that big flat surface. I think it really helps. I might use them for smoke. I might not. I'm not sure. Maybe they just look good as like a pipe that is leading somewhere. I could live with that, actually. This Ark Tower, though, it's going to have workers, right? It's going to have a lot of workers, probably, so I need paths for them to get around. So one of the things I want to do is connect the exterior walls to the central hub with some more just regular roads or elevated walkways, if you will, I guess. I took away a lot of the stone, and I'm actually moving it out one. If you remember how it was sort of covering the sea lanterns, and I want those sea lanterns to show through. I think what I'll probably end up doing is covering them with glass, maybe a stained glass, to bring in just a little bit of color and also light up these paths, because these paths, they're a little bit of mob farms, and I don't really want that. I don't know, you know, my go-to is probably nature. I really like nature, but that's also really what I did down in the ancient city, and I don't want to repeat myself so soon. I have huge news. My wife, Robin, is pregnant with twins. I'm over the moon excited. I can hardly believe when I appeared on this planet several years ago, just looking for a way to get off of it, I could never imagine the thought of growing a family. Being a dad. I'm truly overjoyed at the prospect of it. Come in.
So, sir, what's the plan?
Please, don't call me that. You've been protecting me behind the scenes since I appeared.
So, you understand the taxes now?
I do. You needed to support the war against the undead.
It was much more than that, Dr. Tepik.
How do you mean?
Of course, yes. We needed to support the war effort. But it was more to force you to become the leader we all need.
Why me?
We knew you were coming someday due to the ancient texts, but we didn't know into what generation you would appear.
Hold up. Ancient texts?
There will be time for that later. But for now, what is our plan going forward?
Well, with the Oracle gone, we need to find Edwin. He might be our best chance at staying safe in the future.
The Oracle is gone then, forever?
I don't know. I have no knowledge of how magic works, but it seems like he is.
How do we proceed?
Edwin's power held the connection for the Arcane Reception Coil open to the future. If we want to bring my captain and Fred here, well, we have nowhere near that power currently, so we'll need to expand it greatly.
It should be easier to work without the impending threat of zombie hordes attacking.
For now.
For now.
Oh man, I hate to talk over this song. It's so cool. I just found it on Epidemic. It's called Let It Fly by Water Mirrors. Oh, what a cool song. Anyway, I made a lot of progress. We'll get back to the song in just a second here, but yeah, I got a butt of a mob farm down here in the bottom, and I gotta deal with it. This is ugly. After finally killing all these mobs, I made the decision because it is actually impossible to get into the Ark without an Elytra. I mean, you could dig through the wall, I guess, but that's not ideal. So I'm going to finally take care of this and build out a freaking landing zone for when you get in this area. Now, I don't know exactly how to decorate this area. I think this is going to be where I actually really am going to bring nature in. I want this to look like it is a well-maintained, manicured place, even though the Ark is going to show some age. I know we're just building it now, but I'm projecting forward a few thousand days. Again, using Deep Slate as sort of my trim block, I do want to stay consistent within the Ark. I am using that to build up the platform, so this whole thing makes it look like the Ark Tower is sitting on a man-made base and not just jutting out of this ground, I guess. I think it's going to look a lot better than it did before, and I'll just fill it in with something, probably stone in the middle or something. Okay, this is pretty tedious. I'm building this up, but I got to go really slow because there's no real better way to do this on the diagonal. But while I'm placing these blocks, I have another series that not a lot of you have checked out, and I think you would really like it if you gave it a fair chance. It's a Conquest-based Skyblock series, and I want to show you just a tiny little clip of that just so you know what you're missing. Other than my allergies, we have had a health problem in the Fix household here recently. So this week, right now, the day I'm recording this, Tuesday night, very, very, very late night, we were supposed to be on vacation. We were going to go down to Myrtle Beach with my parents. It was going to be great. They go every year, and we have not been able to go for the last couple years because of COVID. And before that, we haven't been able to go for a few years because of my work schedule. So finally this year, I actually got a sub for work, and I'm a musician. Getting a sub for work is incredibly tough. It's incredibly hard because it's not just... I can't just miss. That's just not the gig. I have to be there. So I talked to my boss, I talked to the band leader, and we really discussed it, and it's like, look, you know, I'd really like to go with my parents. I haven't done this in a bunch of years. And he's like, okay, you know, just make sure you have it covered. So I did. So that was for Sunday, this past Sunday that just happened a couple days ago, and Friday, this coming Friday. Unfortunately, the Friday before, like 5 days ago or so, my wife tested positive for COVID. And everything just hit the brakes. Everything changed, you know? So it stinks. Fortunately, the really good news is somehow, miraculously, me and both of my boys tested negative the whole time and still continuous despite my voice currently, which sounds like I am terribly sick, but I'm not. I'm just allergies. So yeah, we got out of it negative, but unfortunately that means we had to cancel everything. So our one vacation of the year, the one time we were actually going somewhere for more than like a one night overnight, we were actually going for basically a week, got canceled. We couldn't go. Luckily, you know, we got a refund for the cabin and all that stuff, so it wasn't that, you know, it wasn't financially incredibly horrible, but it just really stinks. It really stinks. I also had to sub out of work for both Friday and Saturday because I was a close contact, obviously, being my wife, to potentially be getting it. Luckily, I didn't, but at the time I didn't know that. So, yeah, it has been really, in a year of a lot of disappointments this year, it's just been another one. Just another disappointment to sort of go along with all the rest. And hey, yeah, it's been a tough one. It's been a tough one, honestly. Boy, that guy avoided suffocating by like about 1 second. If he had grown up 1 second earlier, his head would have been in that cobblestone block. Jeez, that was close. Wow, what an uplifting clip to stick in. Why did I pick that one? Well, I know why, because it was the most recent episode of Sky Kingdoms Forever. So, look, I decided to do an old school Let's Play that's not so hyper-edited and condensed. It's not a million days into one little video. It's an old school Let's Play where I can sort of reconnect with you and get to be friendly again, internet friends, and I miss that, and so that's why I'm doing that series. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I really, really think you'll enjoy it. Oh, sand is such a pain in the butt to harvest. Is there any better way to harvest sand other than just digging? I generally dig like one row just so I don't have to deal with sandstone as much. I dig like one deep, but is there any better way? You have to let me know. How do you harvest a ton of sand? Is there any faster way than just mining it in the way that I'm doing it? Now you have to let me know. I need a faster way to harvest sand. This is horrible. On the other hand, though, I gotta say, as much of a pain as sand is to harvest, smelting it when you have a giant furnace array like this, it is a beautiful thing. Oh, baby, look at them go. Woo! Love that. I need a lot of glass for the arc anyway, but yeah, so cool. I really, really like my red glass texture, which, by the way, if you're wondering where you can get these glass textures, I made them myself quite a while ago for my Bedrock series, but they're available in my Discord if you want to grab them, or, whatever. But I think they're kind of cool. I think they're going to look really good on the arc as sort of part of the pathways and just give that extra twinge of like color where I think I need some with all the grays going around. Okay, yeah, I've thought about it really hard, and I have decided that I am absolutely going to add nature just at least to the bottom. It's going to sort of add as a barrier for the nice area under the arc and just the wild mountain on the outside. Also, there's going to be mobs everywhere, so maybe a hedgerow to kind of keep them out. On the bottom, I spent some time just adding in a little bit more depth. I wasn't real happy with that giant row of stairs going along, so I just sort of did what I often do with castles, is just bring down a little bit thicker columns, and I might thicken the base as well, but I think this looks pretty good. Maybe a couple different heights or something. I don't know. I'm not real concerned with how this looks. I just want it to look not boring. I'm really using sea lanterns just everywhere now that my Guardian farm is working really quickly again, so I have as many as I want, really. I always think back to how Loony died in his hardcore world. Basically what happened was he landed down in an area in the nether and couldn't get out. Basically a piglin just got him. I think it was a brute maybe, but I want to make sure that I don't have any surprise mobs in this area. Now, around these sea lanterns, I do want to have some sort of raised flower beds or maybe small tree beds. Oh, maybe small trees would look good in this area. A small little bit of work later, and I decided to do something that I'm not sure I love here. The sea lanterns in the floor looked a little weird, so instead what I'm doing is I'm actually putting deep slate as sort of a border around the sea lanterns. It looks great from far away. It looks less great from close. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this. I have some thoughts. I hope this doesn't look too castle-y as I'm adding sort of the lights along the passageways here because, I put up a poll on my community tab some days ago and said, hey, what would you be most interested in? Now, I'm not committed to actually doing this post 2,000 days, but I was just curious to what you all, my viewers, my friends, thought about my three sort of thinking. The choices were number 1, moon base, number 2, Giga Castle, and number 3, Industrial Revolution style city. Look, I know that a lot of you took the lore and the storyline into account when you were voting on the poll, but it doesn't really matter in that way because the lore, I have stories worked out for all of them, so the lore is going to work. But I was really surprised. I was really, really, really surprised. The ending results were Moonbase won with 47%, Then I thought GigaCast would be way up there, but it wasn't. It was only 16%, and Industrial Revolution was 36%. Really interesting results. I still don't know exactly which way I'm going to go, but the poll does give me some insight into what y'all are looking at. As far as the arc goes, I do want to add some rings. I want to add some sort of containment rings into this. I'm kind of thinking this is going to act as kind of a battery, so I'm going to use Deep Slate to sort of contain the power and then maybe copper to send it to where I need it to go. The first of the rings are done. I think it looks really, really cool. I'm going to put this sort of thing up here on the top that I think is going to be kind of a chimney. Like, I want this to look a little bit industrial, a little bit magical, kind of skirt in between industry, magic, and medieval sort of tech, all kind of together. I think it'll work. Once you see it, you'll understand what I'm trying to go for. Oh yeah, this is going to look really, really good. Okay, I'm convinced now. I really like the height differences. It's sort of smaller, medium, and biggest. So if you're down the ground, if you're walking down on the path or on the road, everything is going to sort of look off further in the distance than maybe it really is. This is great. I did add some slabs in as well because I want the workers here who are hypothetically going to be working in the arc to be able to get everywhere that they want to go without jumping up blocks. This should look really good and just help sort of connect the arc from the ground the whole way up to the very top. I had to fly back to get some more resources, and just looking at all this farmland, it just looks so good. I kind of wish that I had more farmland, even though I have quite a bit, but I think I do need more. Eventually, we're going to have to get really back into sort of the world building bit of this. I've been really focused on the major kingdoms. Eventually, we'll branch out. I need to harvest some wheat because I want some hay bales. I want to put smokestacks in this, but I don't want them to all be the same height. So I'm going to use some of these hay bales to give some of the higher flumes, but then also just some regular. I think it's going to give it a little bit extra depth to the smoke. Should look extra cool, and you should be able to see it from way down the ground. It's a little hard to see with shaders here, but you can tell that there are different heights to the smoke, and I just think it adds that extra little bit of movement, that extra little bit of life that the arc so sorely needs. I like it. And the final look from the ground at the Arcane Reception Coil, I'm calling this finished for now. Look, I can always come back to anytime I want, but it is officially day 1850, and I have another project that I really want to get to. Go quickly, everyone. We need to find him. If he hasn't come back yet, there must be a reason. Go find him and bring him home.
Sir, you need to come quickly.
What's wrong, Doctor?
It's your wife. You need to come with me. There's something wrong, and I'm not sure how to help. I've been consulting with Tracy all morning, but it's just too much.
Explain. Are the twins okay?
They are fine for now, but Tracy says we need to operate. But sir, if I'm even understanding the technology she's telling me about, it's far beyond anything we're capable of.
Can Tracy help? Can she teach you?
Only if she could somehow grow arms and do it. It's beyond us by years still.
Doctor, you have to save her and the twins, please. You have to.
I just don't know how.
I finished the Arc Tower and now it's time to expand my world. And I mean actually literally expand my world. First, I want to go south. I already built some things down in the mangrove forest and I want to connect everything by road. That's one of my rules here. Everything has to be connected by road. I don't want to just have a little dot kingdom here, a little dot kingdom there. I want it to all be connected. I really love that I have a map mod installed so I can really take a look and see the scale and just see where things lay out. You can see New Hope is right here and then further down here is Sangil. If you go further down, you'll see where I have my raid farm and slime farm that I built. That's where I want to get a road to, and it's going to be quite a journey. I grabbed a bed and I grabbed a ton of coarse dirt, and it's time to start working. The very first thing I have to do, though, is kind of a pain. This cliff is way too steep to have a road go out of it, so I got to do some terraforming here first. This brings me back to the old days of my very first survival Minecraft vanilla server, The Realm of Vast, and of how many roads we built. Oh, if you think we've built some big roads here, it is nothing compared to what we did there. That was thousands upon thousands upon thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of blocks of roads. And yeah, we're not exactly there yet, but we will be one day. There's a lot of kingdoms I've planned in this world. You know, one thing I forgot there's a jungle down here, and I found a parrot. It's actually my first parrot, maybe ever. I don't remember ever having a parrot before, but I happen to have some seeds from breaking all this grass, and I tamed it. He's mine. I love this parrot. I really, really hope nothing ever happens to him, because we're going to be friends forever. Me and this parrot, friends forever and ever. I accidentally hit him with a pick. He's dead. Oh baby, this is some epic road building music. I finally got the road down to the slime farm and it's pretty good. Look, it's not detailed or anything like that. I have no slabs between elevation changes, but we made it and that's just the first step. I do have to return because I have like 4 shulker boxes full of grass I need to take back home, and then, well, we'll figure out what to do next. I actually ran out of coarse dirt a while back and my tools are just about shot. So I gotta go to my guardian farm and repair all my stuff and get a ton more coarse dirt, probably at least 2 more shulkers of coarse dirt. I ended up just sort of for the second half just doing the path block part, and now I'll have to do the coarse dirt part next. But I want to talk to you about what's going on sort of in my mind during this series. I love Sangil. I love this little dock city town part, and it really has me thinking. One of the things that I loved about previous worlds I've had is how I had a whole bunch of different kingdoms sort of all over the world. It made the world feel big and breathe, and as a Minecrafter, it gave me a chance to free myself from always building the same style. If I was really tired or burning out of one style, I could just go to another style and do that. I think I want that here. I think I need that here. I flew up to my little slime AFK platform just to take a look around and just kind of think things through. You know, I think a kingdom out here would be just perfect. I finished the road all along here, and you can see in the map, it's just, it's not real obvious where the road is, but you can see it, and it's good. It makes it feel like this is one giant world. I love this. I love this so much. I do have a plan for what's coming up next, and that's why I'm sort of using the end of this 2,000 day block to just sort of pre-plan. But one of the things I really need to do is open up my map headed towards spawn, because it's not yet, and I've never been east of spawn, and I want to see what's over there. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. I have never been more than just a handful of blocks past east of spawn. So I want to go look in that giant area over there, at least open up my map and see. I think it's ocean, but I actually don't know. Spent some time flying around on my Elytra and just opening up, and I'm kind of right and kind of not. There is a lot of ocean, but where I thought it was just the end of land, it's actually not. It's just kind of continues. It gets really narrow for a little bit and then opens up to just more continent. I kind of miss the old Minecraft days with a lot of ocean, a little bit. Again, in planning for more stuff down the road, I do want to take the road from New Hope the entire way out to spawn. The problem is I have this giant mountain between me and spawn. I don't want to go over it, so we're going to go through it. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. I have had a plan for spawn area for a very, very, very long time. I just needed the story to kind of get there, and I think we're getting close. This is where the tunnel is going to go, and there's going to be a transition from medieval to what we're doing next. Using the same simple palette of coarse dirt and path block, I worked out the road the entire way to, well, where the tunnel is going to be, and I actually made this a very big, thick road. Look, it takes up the entire valley. There's a reason why. This is going to be a major, major thoroughfare for traffic. A lot of people are going to be using this on the daily basis to get from their homes to work. I moved my beacon and I'm ready for a major dig to get through this tunnel. If you think you know what the plan is for spawn, I would love to see it down in the comments. Just take your best guess and let's see if anyone can get it right. I've left some breadcrumbs, some clues along the way, and let's see if any of you picked up on it. Now, my plan for basically the rest of this 100-day segment was to just dig through this and make a nice looking tunnel. Unfortunately, I found this giant cave. You think, well, that's fortunate, Fix. It saves you a lot of digging. No, it just makes it a mob farm. It makes it much worse and much harder. I'd much rather just dig through solid stone. See what I mean? It's a baby zombie party. See what I mean? 4 of them. 4 of these little jerks. Oh, man. What I would give for a beacon with expanded range. Oh, man, that'd be so nice. So I dug out basically the size of the tunnel, and now I got to move it 100 blocks or so and dig out the rest of it. But first, first I have a lot of stone I need to take back to my base. After many days, Minecraft days of digging, I finally have this out, and I made a mistake. I made a terrible mistake. I actually made my tunnel off by 1 block. Half of it before the cave is 1 block shifted than the other half. And I can't live with it. I can't. I thought I could. I thought I could just, I'll just make it move during the cave. No, I can't. I'm going to have to repair this. And, it's going to take so long. I'm going to basically have to just dig out one entire side and put it on the other entire side by 1 block. Oh, this is such a pain. This is so painful. Oh, it's going to take forever. This is going to take almost as long as digging out the tunnel originally. Well, honestly, I thought I was way ahead of schedule until I messed up the tunnel, because here we are on day 1899, and I just finished it. I broke through exactly on schedule. Everything is set up to go to spawn eventually. Yeah, I'm very curious to see in the comments what you think we're going to be building at spawn. Maybe someone got it right. That's going to do it for me. If you like this episode, make sure you like it and subscribe if you haven't, because I do have every about 4 or 5 days, I put out another Skyblock episode, and that's where we just talk. That's where we chill. That's basically my recorded video versions of live streams where I can just sort of talk to y'all. Okay? I'll see you over there in a couple days. Bye, everybody.
Dr. Tepic,
Yes.
I've been thinking long and hard about giving you this information. I worry what you will do with it.
Just tell me. I'm not in the mood for games.
This game may change your mind.
What do you mean?
There may be a way to save your bride.
How? I'll do anything.
That is precisely what worries me. There is a village to the south, buried deep within the jungle. A tribe of people calling themselves the Avon has access to an item. If you get that item, it can save your wife.
What do I have to do to get it?
You must be deemed worthy by the priest of the Avon. It is challenging.
I'll go immediately.
Be careful, Doctor. Do not underestimate your importance.
I will be back soon. What's this Mr. Adam called?
It is a totem of undying.